And I'm always looking in my rearview mirror to see if they're coming back for me.
I think your brother-in-law's there in the chat. Is that right, Jeff? Is that your okay?
Let me give it up for the one and only, my homeboy. I had a great time with him this past weekend. Jeff Pohl up in the mix, and let me read his chat after he gets some applause here as well.
Yeah, let me read his first chat. You might miss it.
Go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, Jeff said, true fact is there a lot of evil today everywhere. So he also said the world needs more love and respect for each other, period. I agree, Jeff. We in a utopia world, definitely, but unfortunately,
And Jeff also says, trust me, I've been beat up by many police officers in my day. I am not debating their job, Sluggo. Just say everyone needs more love and respect for their fellow man and woman. Evil seems like it's winning in today's society. Sad. Yeah, the devil is definitely at play right now.
Yeah, Grego said, and then I have a Caucasian male on my social media page that posted a picture dug up of Alton mean mugging his kids, pointing guns at the camera, saying, "This is the real guy." Why look for that if you're not,
right.
So of course, you're gonna, dig dirt on somebody, and that's what we do. That's what you do is instead of just throwing steak out, as Doug was saying, instead of talking about the facts, you want to make this guy, paint him in a bad light, and then we just gloss over the fact that he was cold-blooded murdered.
Absolutely, and to folks who are listening out there as well, let's get this straight as well. Criticizing bad police officers, does not mean you are anti-police. It does not mean you are anti-white. As you know, I am married to a white woman. Reggie dates a white woman. But what we got to do is hold people accountable. We got to get the justice that this deserves, because coming back to the Minnesota case here, and, again, that film, that video is just etched in my mind. Not only is he literally dead there on the front seat, the cop still has the gun drawn on him, Reggie, pointed through the window.
Yeah.
And then okay, and so his fiance gets out oh God, I got to get her name here, as my monitors are actually charging up right now. Diamond, was that it?
Yes.
But yeah, who's done a phenomenal job of describing it, from her point of view, what happened. But she says, they took her phone. She was worried about her phone dying because, again, she's filming all of this. The cops, get her. They put her in 3 different squad cars. They get her to the Roseville, Minnesota Police Department, right outside of St. Paul, Minnesota. They put her in the room. They take her phone. All of a sudden, she gets back her phone. The Facebook posts are at least tried to be deleted.
Wow.
All her other stuff has been deleted. It didn't. She says she had an iPhone, so I don't know if there's a SIM card to save it to. It was just crazy, man.
Yeah.
And again, that thin blue line, just protecting their own. And again, the good cops out there, I know you're out there. I know you can hear me. I have friends. I'm begging you guys. I'm imploring you guys to please start standing up and hold these fuckers accountable, man.
Yeah, I agree. I have some good friends that are state troopers and some other good friends. And I think we'll have a friend or a police officer come on in a couple of weeks. But the one thing he has said that I thought was interesting, he said, Reggie, we have lost the ability to police ourselves. And that pretty much is where the downfall is. And he's right. So there's so much distrust. But Grego had a funny post.
I saw that.
Saw that?
No, Grego,
yeah,
we're going full bore, baby.
Nah, man. He said, whenever there's a moment for a light spot, I found something funny when Diamond spoke. She said, we need to come together. We came together for a stadium that this team don't even need. So we can definitely come together for a real cause. Shots fired at the Vikings. Yeah, and you might as well blow up Target Field, too, because they wasting that stadium, too, while we at it.
Okay. All right. First off, I'm going to deal with little sawed off in a minute over here. I'm going to get over to the sushi-eating Tom Brady, Dick, you-know-what, and Grego here talking about Angie and Carla in the building, so this show's about to go from full heat to pace car. Cold-blooded, Grego.
No, I don't hold back.
And if you keep going, Grego, we gonna put you in the sights next.
Right. Well, we got my man, the one black guy from Switzerland, finally showing up on the mic tonight, so we good. We rolling. So,
and there is the first lady of Minnesota sports. Listen to her. Whoa, language. Give it up for Angie Wright out there. What's up?
We got the ladies in the house. Everybody saying hello, Carla. So I got to tell you a funny story.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Reg, settle. You got to ease up, man. Because first off, since you ain't going to do the honors, I'm going to do the honors. Ladies and gentlemen, rolling with the Psi Go Mob, the one and only. Boosa Bus is up in the house. Phi Beta Sigma Elite. What is up, my friend?
My frat brother. Welcome to the chat, baby. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
Absolutely. And again, folks, you're listening to the Sports and More Show. Vince Wright, the sports governor from Minnesota. DJ Dollars and Cents from Michigan. We are touching on these cop killings. We're going to get into sports in a little bit, but we still got some stuff to say. We got the chat room on fire tonight. Everybody's got a very valid opinion out there, and that's what I'm digging, man. So, and we also got to welcome your guy. Your man, C. Mick in the house. What up, C. Mick?
Yep, one of my best friends from Lorain, Ohio. It is definitely, that's a spot where you got to travel to a police car, man. It's kind of bad out there. Mm. And that's near where, actually, Doug's wife grew up in Lorain. So that's where.
Right.
Yeah,
okay. Cool.
So I got to tell you this interesting, it was a pretty funny story back in college. I know you guys like stories. So, I went to school in Rhode Island, and actually in Providence, Rhode Island, it was very corrupt back in the days. I think it's probably the only, it was big time mafia controlled. So our mayor was called Buddy Cianci. And even when we got there, we knew like, okay, it is what it is. They had Little Italy and whatnot, but the cops never really messed with you because you knew, stay out their way. But I'll never forget an incident where I was down kicking it with my boys, and we were at this bar, man, and this dude came in and just started this fight and just swung on me, right? Just blasted me. And then, so we about to go at it. Everybody calls the police. The police come. All right. So they're like, what's going on? And they pull me to the side and they pull him aside. And I tell him, yo, this dude did this and this and that, swung on me, I'm ready to go. And he said, well, what you want to do, man? I was like, I don't want to press charges. He was like, tell you what, my man said, you know how Greg said, or Doug is like, meet me behind the palm. This police officer was like, yo, give me 10 minutes and meet me around the corner and I'm going to drop my man off for you. So I'm like, seriously? Kid you not, Vince. It was a white police officer. My man said, you can have street justice. I rolled around the corner.
What?
Yes, he dropped the dude off. The guy was like, yeah, I'm home free. He turned around the corner and ran into me. And and I commenced to whooping his ass. I'm telling you.
Wow.
And yeah, man. It's a classic. So, and then that was it. I handled my business, walked off, and then that was it. I told my boys, and they couldn't believe it. So this is probably about 20 years ago, but just kind of an interesting police story that went the right way for me.
Well, your boy here, C. Mick, says that dude knocked your hair off, so.
Well, you know what's funny is Craig, and he's bald now too, but we used to crack on him because my man held on to his hair like In Vogue. We used to be like, Craig, you need to shave it. So what he would do was lower it. And finally, after we kept clowning on him, he finally decided to cut his off. So he shouldn't even be talking in the chat room about letting hair grow and getting hair knocked off.
Hey, and Sluggo brings up a good point, too. He's like, where are these people complaining about Harangue, that ape that got killed? Remember, the animals get killed. We get protests. We get candlelight vigils. I mean, it is just amazing. Brothers get killed. I mean, we got vigils, and we've actually got 3 very peaceful vigils going on tonight. One over at the governor's mansion, one at the scene of the murder, and one, I forgot where the third one is. And Reggie, when we're talking about this Minnesota one, and I'll get back into Baton Rouge here in a second. Again, you're listening to Sports and More Show, people. I was driving home, and I heard a very interesting question that was posed to one of the investigative reporters here that was put on the scene and was talking about it on the radio. And they said, how do you think that the town is going to react. Basically asking, do you think people are going to riot? You think we're going to have a Ferguson on our hands? And this reporter said something very interesting in the Minnesota case. He says, the tenor of the response compared to the Jamar Clark incident, which was the police incident shooting here a few months ago that some people may be familiar with, is completely different. The community leaders are kind of coming from a different perspective. And what he thinks that is because Governor Mark Dayton was really out in front of this. And when he gave his speech this morning, when he, came out and talked about this and said what he said, I don't think a lot of people were expecting that. And I think what's, some of the community leaders saw finally was an ally in a position that can get some crap done. So as we move forward, that's just something I wanted to get out to the national perspective, and we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I had to do a double take. He said what? I'm like, my man said what? If I was white, it wouldn't have happened. So, that's a good sign. And obviously, moving forward, and I'm probably going to take some heat from this, but you know me, I just do it anyway. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I think the union is a big reason why this is going down. I think the police union is probably the most powerful union in the United States. Where else now can you have a situation where basically people can do whatever they want pretty much and they get protected and it's hard to fire them? That's to me, I think that if you want to get rid of unions everywhere else, why don't you get rid of police unions? Why do we even need police unions now? Honestly, I don't get that.
Well, something we can definitely take a look at, man. It's a good question. And again, folks, we're not throwing all cops under the bus, but we got to start holding people accountable. And we need the good cops out there to really start speaking up, because that's what's really going to help facilitate the change. It ain't going to be me and you or Ninja or Sluggo walking down the street or protesting or singing songs or whatever, man. It's got to come from within, and them cops got to step up to the plate, and that's just how I feel about it. Folks, let's do this here. We've been going down there an hour. We're going to come back. We're going to get into this a little bit more. We're going to talk some sports. You are listening to the Sports and More Show. We got a couple songs here, and again, I'm going to play Black Man Standing. It's been a popular song here on my show over at Sports Done Right. People have asked for it. So we're going to play that. We're going to play a track by John Fisher. Fisher's music's always fun to listen to, and we're going to come back a few commercials. So we got probably about a 4-minute break here. Folks, drink them. Let's remember these brothers. Rest in peace. And let's get some justice. We'll be right back after this break.
Excuse me, but I gotta be candid. Black male under pressure, only the strong can stand it. Ghetto pastures, full of coulda, woulda, shouldas, and caskets. Situations critical, tragic. Still can't figure out how age left magic. But I guess if you make enough money, you'll make magic. It's hard to be all you can be when all that you see is death and disease. Black ministers raping the seeds. In the streets, we ain't escaping the heat, we raising it. Them seeds roaming the same streets, but who raising them? Obama ain't filling them bullets when they grazing them. Senate seats don't get taken when the coroners are praising them. Nope, it ain't phasing none of them cats. Afghanistan, we warn right here where we at. It's a fact, love it or hate it, the economy's makeshift. Still gotta get papered, still dodging the haters. Land of the freezer landfill, smell the hatred. 2000 now, nothing's taboo or sacred. Life's a soap opera, prepare for speed knots landing. I ain't never scared, I'm a black man standing. Imagine living on an all-black planet with tall buildings made of all black granite. No black on black crime is how I plan it. But every black woman be a black man standing. Failure's not an option, cause that's demanded. By the earth she frail, she need a black man standing. Celebrate just MLK, not Malcolm, Marcus Garvey, Fred Hampton, or Eldridge Cleaver. How do the government really see us? Integrated, not assimilated, searching for white Jesus. My thesis a work in progress, too much info to process. Nymphos in the projects, birthing babies with limited promise. We in a race for more than land and dollars. We gon' lose if you plan to follow. President's policies is borrowed. Sock puppet politics is so hollow. It's a scam on tomorrow. I know he black.